Hey everyone, I'm cooking up something in the kitchen, but it's not food. Today I'm just loving the sunshine, and I thought based on the last kitchen video I did, basically a video just chatting away in the kitchen, I thought that I would come down here today while the sun is shining and show you. I have my tripod here because I'm going to record it, and it's hard to record with two different cameras, but anyway, I've got a large piece of watercolor paper taped to the wall, and normally I would use painter's tape, but I can't find it and I'm all out. And then I have a bunch of art supplies. I worked on some stuff yesterday that I just really love. I love this sort of dreamy outline of these figures, and I love the colors. So today I'm going to let loose. So today I'm going to show you my art supplies set up, and I am going to just sort of let loose and create on this paper and see what I can come up with. And I think it's just all about maybe the month of April. And I know we're not quite into April yet, but I feel like I've shifted from the oil pastels back to the mixed media, and sort of reverting back to when I first started, which was in my kitchen, just throwing paint on there and seeing what I can create and come up with. And so I want to share that process with you, some intuitive painting and drawing. I want to say figures because that seems to be what I'm into, but we'll see what comes out. Also wanted to mention that I have a membership now on my YouTube channel, so I'm going to be doing some lives. I started it I put it together a while ago, and I didn't really get into it until I thought right now I'm going to get into the membership because I want to do some in-depth training sessions or art sessions and classes. I also wanted to do some lives, but I wanted to do that in the membership. And if that's something you're interested in, I will include the link in the description. But I'm going to get started, and I'm going to show you everything I'm using, and we're going to jump in, and I hope you join me for some intuitive painting. These are the art supplies that I'm using. Sorry, I've got my coffee here. These are the art supplies that I'm going to be using. I have a few, dropped my phone. I have a few supplies here. This is a brayer, and this is just, I got this at the hardware store for painting the trim on my walls. Obviously, I used it for painting. These sponge tools, variety of paint brushes, and I just grabbed a big bucket of paints. I'm going to use what's in here. I even have like Toll paint. I don't know. I'm just going to go for it. Paper towel, paint brushes, and some gesso. I also have a variety of pencils for mark making. You can use whatever you have and just join along and see what comes out on the paper. I think the point of this exercise is really to let yourself come out onto the paper and see what you can create intuitively. These are just a few of the things that have been inspiring me. All right, again, paper taped to the wall. Hopefully I won't get paint on the wall, but this wall is due for another layer of paint anyway. So let's get started. Okay, so I have some Neocolor crayons, just any water-soluble crayons or paints will work. I also just have some graphite pencils that I'm just going to use. And to get started, all I'm going to do is do some mark making. And again, you're not thinking, you're just putting color or marks on the paper to see what shows up. And hopefully there won't be too much shadow as I do this. I'm trying to find the best way to do this, but I really do love creating in my kitchen. So all I'm doing is laying down color. The key to this kind of art is just letting go and scribbling on your paper
grabbing some paint or some water if you're using water-soluble crayons, or if you're using watercolor pencils, make some marks, add some water or whatever, medium you have, a fluid medium, and see what happens. You have to let go of expectations. You have to let go of what you think it's going to be. You cannot have a plan. The moment you have a plan and you decide how things are going to be is the moment that frustration is going to set in. And this exercise here is about letting whatever is inside you come out onto the paper. A lot of times I think with artists, you're seeing who they are as a person when you see their artwork, because that is who they are. And so I'm just picking colors and sort of just blending it together. Then I grab it with my hands and I start making even more marks. And then as you continue on, something emerges. You go by feeling. You feel like what is emerging onto the paper. And for me, it is always figures, and you're going to see that happen here. One of the things I often do is I will draw the heads, the neck, and the shoulder, and then I just grab some colorful paint and map in where I think their bodies will go. And then you can, the joy of this is you have so many different colors going on that you can make adjustments as you go. You can make the figure bigger, smaller. You're going to see me make adjustments as I go, but overall I'm just grabbing the paint and having fun. I think this is actually my favorite kind of painting to do. One of the biggest lessons I learned when it comes to doing this sort of colorful, intuitive painting, and I don't know where I read it, but somewhere I read that if you're doing abstracted type work, you need places to rest the eye. So I map in the figures, and then eventually I'm going to choose lighter colors outside of the figure, so there is a place to rest your eyes and you can focus on the figure. And you will see that those layers come to play as I continue on with this painting. Drawing faces is super challenging, as you all know if you're following my channel. I teach a lot about drawing faces in my videos. And I don't have a Sharpie because I ran out, but I highly recommend if you're going to map in a face and you're a beginner at this, map it in with a Sharpie. I knew right away when I did that first lady that her eyes are too far apart and her head is way too big compared to the other two ladies, so I have to make adjustments. I only wish I used a Sharpie because I could be more detailed with it. And it goes over well, especially if you're using a matte medium like gesso to mix your colors with. If you're using gesso, it's a chalky texture, so you can easily put pencil or marker on top of your acrylic that's mixed with the gesso. And you can use either clear gesso or white gesso. I personally prefer white, but I'm actually using clear gesso in this, but it's just the one I had on hand. This is my favorite part of the painting, is when it starts looking what I would consider dreamy. I love the smudged lines. I love the blended colors. And then I like adding a little bit of detail with regards to the faces. I continued on with this painting, but honestly, I could have just left it like this and been happy. I have the tendency to overwork paintings, but that's just part of the process. This is the final artwork. I hope you guys gave this a try, and I'd love to hear from you how it went. If you have any questions about the process or the materials, just let me know. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and happy sketching or happy painting.